is that we're smart enough about putting gas in the tank, but we haven't learned in our relationships how to properly prepare for difficult conversation. So that's, in essence, what the connected timeouts thing is. Now, bringing it to you, because you brought up a really good example. Often, one person really wants to talk it through, the feminine brain. It's not always the female. Sometimes the guy wants to talk it through, the woman wants to leave. I mean, it can happen that way. But often, one person really wants to talk it through, the other one wants space. So when we come to that place where it's red light, and red light could be called at any time. Red light means I'm not capable right now. I can't show you the care that I want to. So it's an important thing for you to learn, to call red light. And in moments of calm, I'll just work with you and Angie. In moments of calm, remind Angie, red light is an act of love. Red light is an act of care. Because it's easy for Angie to interpret it the other way. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. That's where she could go. Anybody, I'm just using you as an example. That's where theoretically we can go. He doesn't care. And we might go into, if we don't talk about it now, we'll never talk about it. If we don't deal with it now, we'll never deal with it. If we don't talk about it now, I can't be happy. I can't be harmonious until we resolve this. That's a common thought. So that's where reassurance comes in. It's red light because I care. I understand this is an important conversation, or I understand that it's important to you, and we will talk about it. We will have this conversation once we're both ready, I promise. And then you have to really follow through on that promise. Really big part of the red light is you got to really follow through on that promise. Sometimes we're too triggered and we can't even agree in that moment when we're going to come back and talk about it. Other times, we know we need to take a space, but we have enough in our gas tank to at least make it to, I need to take the afternoon, reflect on it, let's talk about this a little bit tonight. Does that work for you? Yes, it does. Okay, great. Or no, it doesn't work for me to talk about it at dinner, I don't want to go to dinner, can we talk about it before we go to dinner? You know, and you negotiate it without it becoming a big fight. If it begins to become a power struggle, red light, we'll deal with it later. Does it make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So that's different than avoidance.
Totally different than avoidance. And thank you for bringing up the avoidance word, because that's what it's easy for us to imagine is happening. And it's important for it not to be avoidance. Because during your time out, you know, nurture yourself, eat, take a nap, like I got here and I didn't take a nap right away. Take care of yourself. But before you come back to that person, do self-reflect. How was that important to Laura? Why did Mike say that? What did Mike really mean by that? Take the time, and this is what we're going to work on tomorrow. I have something that I'm giving people called the challenging situation worksheet, which you're all going to fill out tomorrow. And the challenging situation worksheet is a way to access what am I telling myself, what am I feeling, what am I needing, what's the other person telling themselves, feeling, and needing. And there's a way to do it, but I want us to get to dance pretty soon. I'm not just trying to tease you about coming tomorrow night, although of course I think you all do, and lots of people. But if you are genuinely interested in these things, but you can't come tomorrow night, before you leave tonight, maybe we'll take a little break before dance. I can, sell you some of the tools. The laminate sheets are $5, and at least talk to you briefly on how to use it. But hopefully you'll all come tomorrow night. Who is thinking of coming to tomorrow night? Just out of curiosity. Who's thinking of coming to tomorrow night? Good. All right. So how about maybe just questions and answers for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll take a little break and then do dance? Yeah.
I just have one question. Okay. I'm just a little confused with the timeout, because now some people can walk away from situations and not be angry. I cannot do that. It just rolls until I get it out. But if I talk to somebody who feeds it, it gets worse.
Absolutely.
So I have problems like diffusing that anger in myself.
Wonderful question. A wonderful question. First off, we want to surround ourselves with people that are emotionally intelligent. We may think that a good friend says, oh yeah, Rob, oh, that's awful that he did it. You shouldn't marry him. That's like old paradigm crappy friend. That's junior high school friend. A good friend, or a good therapist, or a good coach listens and just acknowledges your feelings and needs. You're feeling really sad, you're feeling really disappointed because you really want to, be with Rob tonight and he's working instead. And you're telling yourself that he's always going to choose work over you, and you're really worried about that. I'm just making something else. They feed back what's going on for you with zero judgment of Rob. I think if you're empathy, imagine a scale. Here's apathy, which is whatever, I don't care. Here's sympathy, which is, oh, you poor baby. Oh, that's so awful. It's like pity. You know what? Apathy sucks, sympathy sucks. In the middle, namaste, is empathy. Empathy is where we show our care. And again, tomorrow night we're going to talk about different forms of empathy. Empathy is where we show care by listening and acknowledging your feelings and your needs. You saw me have a little empathic response when I got teary-eyed, remembering clients that I've worked with. That's my empathy. I'm so in my empathy brain, so in my empathy room, that I'm remembering 2 years ago when they were mourning over the stillborn child, and the tears come right away. Because I like hanging out in my empathy room. Right? It's a nice place to hang out. And I want to support you to learn how to hang out in your empathy center. So choose friends that are going to give you empathy. And if you can't choose friends, you give yourself self-empathy. Now, the first step is the tool of what am I telling myself? Because if you're running over and over and over what it is he said or did that hurt, if you're just replaying it, then that's the woman replaying the effing bitch thing over and over and over and over until she thinks they're getting divorced. So the first step is that tool. I'm telling myself he doesn't really care. Let's pretend that the issue was that he chose to work over me. And you're in a he doesn't care, he cares more about his work, he cares more about his friends than me. Let's say pretend that's the story. Well, if you add, I'm telling myself he doesn't care. I'm in my story that he'll always choose work or friends over me. Guess what? You begin to move to the observer part of the brain. You begin to leave the reptile brain that is sending danger, 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 attack, 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 and you move up to a place where you can see it more fully. And then you get in touch with your feelings and your needs. I'm feeling really sad and disappointed because my value for connection isn't going to be met tonight. I'm feeling sad and disappointed because my value for intimacy isn't going to be met where I want tonight. And guess what? That begins to feel better. Think about it. What feels better? He doesn't care, he's always going to choose work over me, or I'm feeling sad, disappointed because I really wanted connection and intimacy tonight. Now that's still bittersweet. The bitter part is that you're feeling sad and disappointed. It shouldn't mean I'm going to be met that night. But the sweet part is the love that's underneath that. That you really value intimacy. You really value connection. You really value your time with him. It's a beautiful thing. It's something you enjoy. And then what we do is by acknowledging what's going on with us, then we pivot into the beauty of the needs, the beauty of the unmet needs themselves. Is this interesting to people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to try not to cry, from my own life. And this is an example of how to give empathy to another person, or how to give empathy to yourself, by tuning into the beauty of the unmet needs. When my wife was alive, as Joseph Michael Angelo Rouet can tell you, because he met her a few times, she made her living as a tour guide, like I mentioned before. And she, her tours were seasonal. She worked very hard in the spring, had 2 months off in the summer, worked really hard in the fall, had 3 months off in the winter. So often she would have one tour would end on Sunday afternoon, take them to the airport, they leave. She'd have Sunday night off, and then Monday morning, the next group of Germans arrived. She had a luxury bus and a bus driver. So when we would get her tour schedule, I would build my calendar a little bit. So that Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, I always made sure I was in San Francisco, because that's where the tours would begin and end. So I'd always make sure that I was in San Francisco so we could have that Sunday together. And it was our day to be together, our afternoon and evening to be together and we would be together again for another 2 weeks unless I met her in Las Vegas or met her in Los Angeles, which I sometimes did. Okay. So that Sunday afternoon, Sunday night was always precious, and she had to get her laundry done, maybe had to do shopping, maybe had to do errands. She loved going out to a really nice dinner. That was her aphrodisiac, if you will, a nice dinner with a bottle of wine. She was European. So, and we're in San Francisco, which has great restaurants. It's right up there. So, many times, by the time we got to dinner, it was 8, 9 o'clock at night. We'd have a beautiful dinner, we'd share a bottle of wine, would be romantic, with the intention of going home and making love, because it's our last chance to make love probably for 2 weeks. And many times, we would walk into the hotel room, and I'm ready to go, and I look at the bed, and I'm imagining what's going to be happening in that bed soon, and she'd look at the bed, and have a whole different experience. The exhaustion would hit. 2 weeks of taking care of 45 Germans who did not speak compassionate communication, from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night would hit, and she'd just be exhausted. And she would be too tired, especially after a big meal and a nice wine, she'd be too tired to connect that way. She'd be tired to make love. So this is where we get to the beauty of unmet needs. Now, because she knew these tools and practiced them really well, she would give me everything. I was good because I would never push for sex, knowing how exhausted she was. I understood that. So I get brownie points for that. And that's why I understood her needs. I understood that her need for rest and sleep was greater, was a stronger need in that moment than her need for sexual pleasure or sexual intimacy. But she would acknowledge the beauty of sexual intimacy. And she would thank me for wanting to make love. And she would really share in the disappointment and share in the frustration with me. Would in the bed for a few minutes, would share that she was disappointed, she was frustrated, she was sad.